Yes,
going?
greetings to everybody again. We're so sorry. We miss you all. We wish we can be back here at the church. And we're hoping that we're beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Just to let you know, what we're planning to do is right now, this is the plans of man. We're hoping that the Lord is in this with us. Is we're planning to open up and be together as a church. For those of you that want to come, remember this is something that'll be voluntary for you because some of you may not feel comfortable coming out publicly. But on June 7th, the first Sunday of June, we're going to plan to have come together as a church. We are still we're seeking some legal counsel with the Alliance for Defending Freedom Fund, constitutional lawyers that are Christians. To find out and we're actually working through the New Yorkers for Constitutional Freedom who are appealing right now and have petitioning the governor.
We both signed a petition.
We signed petitions, but some of you may have done it already, and we're working on that. As you know, many churches already this weekend are all going back to church. I think I heard 1,200 churches in California. Oregon is still they just went to the Supreme Court to say this is unconstitutional to prevent churches. They won in one lower federal court. Now they're appealing to the second. So many states, I think Kentucky, most of the decisions are going in favor for churches to come back. And so I know when to come back and when not. So we feel that probably by the first weekend in June we'll be able to come back. The size of the group they're allowing that'll remain to be known. But what we're going to do is hopefully we'll divide up our church in the auditorium and in our fellowship hall. And we might even go to two services, maybe one at 9 and one at 11, and have two groups. But we're going to do it no matter what. And we're going to have communion that Sunday. I ordered special communion. Sam, I got these. They're all, the juice and the wafer are all enclosed, so there's no messing around, no contamination. And we're asking everyone to bring.
We'll have that ready for you.
Have your mask here, and we'll have everything ready. We'll even have extra masks, and we'll do social distancing. We'll try to keep all the regulations, and so please look forward to that. Pray that it'll be good, So we don't want to go to jail. I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to pay fines out, but unless you do, we can start our own legal defense fund here if you want, and maybe you want to bail me out if I get arrested. But
and look, everyone's at a different level where they are with this. It's just something you have to respect. Not everyone's going to see this exactly the same.
Right.
And it is what it is. It's not worth arguing about over. Just brotherly love, prefer one another, put others above yourself.
And we all looking out for health. We want to be concerned for the health and safety. We're asking everyone when you make the choice, if you want to come, make sure you don't have a fever, that you don't have symptoms, that you haven't been around exposed to people that have. So we'll be doing that. But so pray about that. So it's exciting. Then on a second note, anyway, I'll be back preaching this weekend. And going back to Psalm 23, I've been enjoying this. We're going through. I started my first message in the very beginning of this crisis was called "Though I Walk Through the Valley of COVID-19, I Will Fear No Evil," and I kind of used that Psalm 23 as a launching point to get into some encouraging scriptures of not fearing and knowing the Lord's presence. And then I decided I need to go back to Psalm 23 and really study the psalm in depth more and really get an appreciation for who the shepherd is, his character, his love, his concern for us, the abilities of our shepherd over us in the middle of a crisis. And we are walking through a dark valley. Mm-hmm. And to understand from a shepherd and a sheep's perspective what that means, and we'll be dealing with that this weekend. We're actually going to be dealing, the last time I stopped off, we were talking about the shepherd's accounting, and the accounting he keeps us accountable. The shepherd keeps the sheep accountable to him, and there's one. It's wonderful, and we began to look at
we're on verse 3.
Verse
right?
3. We talked about he restoreth my soul. What it meant about restoration, God's restoration in our life, and I think we ended about there was 7 different stages that God does for us to restore us to fellowship with him. And part of that is chastening. We talked a little bit about that. And so we're going to continue what it means to walk through, that it says he leads me along the right paths, or the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. That's what we'll pick up Sunday. And then we're going to get into that wonderful verse, the one that people probably remember most of Psalm 23, and that is, I says, even though I walk through the valley of the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me, and your rod and your staff, they comfort me. So we'll get into that this Sunday, and we'll probably do that, because that's probably going to take up most of the time, just to be encouraged by our shepherds and him with us. And I think it'll be very encouraging, because he's with us, and he's going to comfort us, and there's nothing to fear. And so we still, there's still a lot to uncertainty.
Right.
And I know our country right now is in a very precarious situation financially. We don't know the information. We find out every week there's new information come out. Some of it's false, some of it's true. We don't know if there's going to be a second wave of this in the fall, and then so we just got to trust God through this, Lord, and draw close to Him. So, what do you think, Sam?
Yeah, no doubt. He's definitely with us, and He's going to get us through, no matter what we're going through, good times, bad. So He's with us, and people we've talked to really just, our church family, they're troopers. They really are. They're warriors for Christ, and we're thankful for you, really. All right, a couple things I want to talk about. So I want to talk about discipleship groups. I want to begin to introduce these now. One of the key components of Christian ministry and Christ's call to His church is discipleship. That is training up others, teaching other people how to live in the ways of Christ according to His word, and how to walk in this world. And everybody in the church should either be discipling someone or being discipled. And that is really something that should happen, organically and informally. And we want to encourage that, but we want to provide a little bit of a structure too to guide you. So we're launching really today what we're calling discipleship groups. And these are small groups of no more than 3 to 5 people, including the leader, men discipling men, women discipling women, where we are encouraging you to form these groups. Now, this is different, and I'm going to make a distinguishment between this discipleship group, the small discipleship group. I want to distinguish that from our life groups. Our life groups are larger gatherings. They meet about once a month. They encourage fellowship around the table, around food. It's more of the emphasis is more on fellowship and just family gathering. The discipleship groups are a little bit more intense, and it's focusing on a more of a deeper study, and it allows you get into each other's lives a little bit. You can't really. It's good to have those larger, family gatherings, if you will, in times of fellowship and food, but sometimes you got to get to the nitty-gritty, and you got to keep each other accountable. So that's what these groups are. Again, it's men discipling men, women discipling women, as the Bible tells us. We do ask that if you lead a group, that you are a member of the church.
Yes.
Okay? Or if you are in the process, I know we haven't had membership classes lately, but if you are in that process, you can talk with us. All right? But we want to encourage that. And when we come back together, we'll have a meeting and we'll talk about this, and we'll provide more guidelines. We'll give you some advice. We'll give you some materials, some guidance. We'll all the groups as a whole will come together. We'll hold each other accountable. So we'll have a little bit more of that structure when we meet back. But for now, we're encouraging you to get in these groups and disciple one another. You want to bounce anything?
I was going to say, and also there may be some of you here that have been coming to our church for a long time, but maybe you says, well, no one ever discipled me. I never really wasn't. I really feel like I like to go through a discipleship class and just learn the basics again, go back. This should be for you. We're going to have an opportunity for you to sign up at the office, that if you'd like to be in one of these groups, maybe you want to first participate and be one of the discipleship group as a disciple, and that would be wonderful. So we're inviting you to do that. But there also might be some of you that might feel like I'd like to do that and start teaching some other people in a small, and you're the leader. So that's what we're going to do, and we'll have the opportunity for you to sign up, or you could even start calling the office, and Mary will start taking names down. But we're going to have a meeting after we get back to church again. You'll hear about it.
Right.
But this is the Great Commission. This is our number one marching orders: to go into all the world and preach the gospel, to make disciples of all nations, and baptized. All of us are commanded to be disciplers, to go and find someone to disciple and to teach the things of Christ to them, to teach what Christ taught us. That's the call of the church. That's our real reason.
Absolutely. So we want all of you in one of these groups. You're either discipling or being discipled. We want to encourage you to get that started now. And again, when we come together, we'll formalize this a little bit more and give you guidance and details. So I want to encourage you in that. Other thing I just want to get out there real quick is we're also making plans for Vacation Bible School 2020. The theme is Dinosaur Kingdom. Oh, you scared me. You should have brought your raptor mask.
We'll do that in the future.
Yeah, we'll do that. But there's going to be a lot of zaniness going on. It's about time we're due for some zaniness and maybe some Doom Cuff and Skittles. But anyway, folks, our first meeting, and this is so essential if you can make it, will be the Tuesday after we come back. So June 9th here at 6:30. If in any way you want to be a part of this VBS, please come on down. We got to start getting this planning, got to get this rolling. This is going to be a huge outreach. We're also going to we're hoping to include a teaching time for adults too, so that they can have something to do too. So we're going to make this big. It's going to be a huge outreach, and I think maybe one of our best VBS. I'm always aiming every year. We're always aiming to make it better. So just want to throw that seed out there. You should have gotten an email about that. Yeah, and any of this stuff, you can email me, Pastor Sam at NiagaraFrontierBible.com. Call me here at the office. My phone number is in the directory. You can call me. You can call Pastor Tom. I mean, we're available to talk about this stuff. So with that being said, we are 12 minutes. Anyway, guys.
12 minutes.
Yeah. Hey, thank you for your time today. Have a great weekend. Facebook Live. Look for us, Niagara Frontier Bible Church, Lewiston. And we'll see you next minute. Newsflash, we're back.
Newsflash.
What happened since the last minute?
Oh,
what
man, since we shut down, we found out President Trump just made an announcement within the last hour that he deems churches as essential, and he is now going to giving us the executive order to open up, and he says he will any governor that will try to stop him, he's going to deal with that, and so looks like we got the blessing.
So wow, what's that mean for Niagara Frontier
So I
Bible
think we
Church?
talked about June 7th as our first Sunday. I think we're going to aim for next week, which I think is May 31st, I think. I'm not sure.
Okay,
Sunday,
yeah.
I think. The last Sunday of May. So we're going to do it, okay? Remember, this is only those that feel comfortable to do that. We're going to do social distancing. We've already measured some of the pews, and we'll have an overflow in our fellowship hall, which can be live. And we're still going to go live on the air. So
Yeah, we'll update you throughout the week.
but
and
not this Sunday,
we'll be
but
ready
next Sunday,
next
we're
Sunday.
going to meet together.
All right, everybody.
All right, take care.
That's our little update.
All right.
Okay, bye-bye.